were the rules?
It would always be the three of us, never separately. If a baby came out of it, we'd raise it together, the three of us.
You all were this thorough?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you get it in writing?
No, Your Honor.
Here's how she told me she was pregnant. She said to me, how would you feel if you're not the dad?
That's not how I told you. That's not how I told you. I told you that I was pregnant, that you may not be the father.
She had two men staying with her, and they were showering her with gifts and taking care of her. Now, me as a man personally, I'm not gonna do that for no woman.
Being a man, though, you should have left me.
Ms. Alston kicks things off with a bombshell, revealing her turmoil over not knowing who fathered her 2-year-old daughter, Jasmine. She shares her poignant backstory of growing up fatherless and her resolve to prevent the same fate for her child. Just wait until you hear what's up next.
And you say for the past 2 years, you've been living in uncertainty and confusion. You're not sure which of 3 men fathered your 2-year-old daughter, Jasmine. You grew up without a father and don't want the same for your little girl. You deny paternity because you say Ms. Alston cheated with another man and you have proof.
Things just got a whole lot spicier. Judge Lake introduces Mr. Jones and Mr. Delk as potential fathers. Mr. Jones throws a curveball by denying paternity because he insists Ms. Alston stepped out on him, while Mr. Delk steps into the spotlight claiming he's the main man in Jasmine's life. Brace yourself, the plot thickens.
Next, Mr. Delk, a one-night stand, is potential father number 2, and he's waiting in our courtroom hallway. He claims he's the only father figure in the child's life. Joining us from his hometown is Jasmine's possible grandfather, Mr. Joe Harrison Sr. Because his son Joe Jr. is unable to appear in court today, we tested Mr. Harrison Sr. to help determine.
Now, here's where it gets juicy. Ms. Alston spills the tea on her intimate encounters with all 3 men during the critical window of conception and elaborates on her relationships with Mr. Jones and Joe Jr. It's a tangled web of love and secrets. Keep your eyes peeled because this rabbit hole goes deeper.
Well, basically, Your Honor, I did have sex with all 3 men within a 2-week period of time, but out of the 3 men, I did have a relationship with the 2, Joe Jr., Mr. Jones right here. I met Mr. Jones back in high school. We dated for 2.5 years. I did, however, a few months after we got into the relationship, I did cheat and I told him of it.
Did someone order drama? Because it's being served hot right now. In a fiery exchange, Ms. Alston and Mr. Jones clash over the details of her pregnancy bombshell. Accusations fly about how and when she revealed the potential paternity doubts. Oh boy, you'll want to stick around for the fallout.
Here's how she told me she was pregnant. She said to me, how would you feel if you're not the dad?
That's not how I told you. That's not how I told you. I told you that I was pregnant, that you may not be the father.
There was no test to begin with.
How far into your pregnancy did you tell him he may not be the father?
About 3 months. That's what I think I was about to pass the 3 month.
Wait, there's more? During the chaos of Jasmine's birth, unexpected guests at the hospital stir the pot even further. The scene is set with surprise appearances and revelations, stirring up a storm of emotions for everyone involved. And guess what? It's about to get even crazier.
Charles was here. I saw that Mr. Jones was here. I didn't expect him to be there.
So you didn't even expect to see that?
Not Mr. Jones, but I also expected Joe Jr. to be, because he was there for most of my pregnancy. Robert was only there for the first sonogram. It was really between Mr. Jones, Joe Jr.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Secrets unravel in the maternity ward, creating a web of confusion about who knew what about Jasmine's paternity. The grandparents are thrown into a loop and the air is thick with tension. What happens next? It's something you just can't miss.
Take me back to that day you were at the hospital and you thought your grandbaby was being born?
Of course, Your Honor. I would like to correct Miss Ashley. She texted me the day of, letting me know that it was happening right then. Can I bring my son there to the hospital? So for her to stand here and say she didn't know he was going to be there, that is a complete and flat out lie.
And the tension is reaching a boiling point. Ms. Alston and Mr. Jones debate the nitty-gritty of their co-parenting setup amidst paternity uncertainty, revealing layers of conflict and compromise. The emotional stakes are high, and it's only going to escalate from here.
She mainly goes to the Harrison.
Can I interject? Because that's not true, Ashley. Don't make it seem like I'm not there.
Finish. I said most of the support I did get from the Harrison. You have help, yes. Robert, no. Now, if I had to sign my daughter over, I would either sign it to you, Miss Tina, or to Mr. Harrison, not to Robert at all.
The reason why I haven't done anything for Jasmine as of yet, I've been wanted a DNA test for Jasmine's whole life right now.
You thought that was intense? Check this out. Mr. Delk finally makes his grand entrance, adding his own twist to the tale with heartfelt claims of being a father figure to Jasmine, despite the odds. The emotional layers here are thick, and the next segment will tug at your heartstrings.
He says he's been a father figure. You know, I want to hear from him. Jerome, can you please escort Mr. Delk into the courtroom, please? We are here discussing the issue baby Jasmine's paternity. Openly admitted in court today that she was intimate with 3 different men during the time of conception. We've also talked about the fact that you spent a significant amount of time with Jasmine, and you say you've been a father figure to her.
As the tension simmers, the courtroom brims with anticipation for the DNA results. Each potential father and grandparent lays out their hopes and stakes in Jasmine's life, painting a picture of a deeply intertwined family, regardless of the biological ties. The big reveal is just moments away. Prepare to be moved.
I still want to be a part of Jasmine's life, either way it goes.
Beautiful. Mr. Jones, how about you? What are your hopes?
If she's mine, I'm going to step up, do what I have to do as a dad. If she's not, then life goes on as it already is. I keep my married life and I go on.
Mr. Harrison, how about you? What are your hopes for today?
Well, I'm hoping that if Jasmine is not my granddaughter, well, she can still call me grandfather.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any more dramatic, the DNA results are finally disclosed.
It has been determined that the biological father is Mr. Delk.
Did that just happen? Ms. McClain drops the bombshell that Mr. Strong is supposedly the father of her child, resulting from what she called a night of passion gone awry. She stands firm in her assertion, hammering down the certainty of Mr. Strong's paternity with no room for doubt. The judge presses for details, piecing together the narrative as the courtroom hangs on every word. Buckle up, because the next part takes us deeper into the rabbit hole.
You've summoned the defendant, Ms. McClain, to court to prove that your husband did not father her 14-month-old daughter, Angel. You say 1 month ago, Ms. McClain calls you out of the blue and claimed Mr. Strong was her child's father and demanded he take care of her. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Grab your popcorn, this gets good. Ms. Strong takes us back to the start of this roller coaster over a year ago, where a wild idea for a threesome began as a birthday celebration venture with Ms. McClain. The conversation about making Mr. Strong's fantasy a reality was verified by Judge Lake, throwing light on the intricate web of their relationships and the consequential decisions that followed. You're going to want to stay seated for what's next.
Your daughter is the product of a night of passion gone wrong. You are certain Mr. Strong is the father. How did you and your husband land in court with a paternity dispute?
Your Honor, a little over a year ago, me and Ms. McClain got together. We were friends, wanted to do something for our birthdays. We had discussed doing a threesome, which it was something my husband had always wanted to do, and I figured if I did it with him, then
you and Ms. McClain got together to talk about this.
Yes.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, the tale unfolds further as Ms. Strong details the initial resistance and eventual indulgence of Mr. Strong in their planned threesome. The night escalated with drinks and music, leading to their intimate encounter, marked by an audible gasp from the audience, emphasizing the drama of their unexpected actions. Next up, the plot thickens even more.
So we went back to our apartment and discussed it with Mr. Strong, and he was resistant at first, but it happened. We had some drinks, the music was playing, had a threesome, had a good time that night. We discussed everything beforehand of what, possibilities could be.
What possibility?
She did get pregnant, of which we were under the understanding there was a medical reason couldn't.
Things are heating up. They dive into the pre-threesome agreements, where they decided to co-parent any resulting child. The audience chuckles and gasps at their overly detailed planning, contrasted with the casual nature of their agreement. No written contracts here. Just wait until you see where this story heads.
Threesome, you set parameters.
Yes, Your Honor.
What were the rules?
It would always be the 3 of us, never separately. If a baby came out of it, we'd raise it together, the 3 of us.
You all were this thorough?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you get it in writing?
No, Your Honor.
You were nervous at first.
Yes, Your Honor. Because prior to our first couple months of our relationship, I made a lot of bad decisions. And when she approached me with this conversation, I thought it was another setup.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Mr. Strong reveals his initial hesitation and fears of a setup, reflecting on his past poor decisions. This confession leads into the revelation of not just 1, but a total of 8 threesomes, which sends the audience reeling with shock. The intrigue only escalates from here, so keep watching.
Oh, you thought it was a setup. So you reluctantly agree. And then what?
I heard rumors about her being pregnant, but I was told it was her ex-boyfriend.
So wait, I want to understand, after this night, you just had this one night, or was it more than one night?
More than one night.
More than one night. So you had more than 1 threesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Things just got a lot twistier. As the plot unravels, Ms. McClain announces her pregnancy and the simultaneous relationship with another man, throwing more potential fathers into the mix and complicating the paternity question further. This leads to a fiery debate about the child's racial identity and appearance, adding layers of complexity to the drama. The next segment will make your jaw drop even further.
So you were still having threesomes with them through your pregnancy?
And after.
Mr. and Ms. Strong, when Ms. McClain came and told you she was pregnant, how did that conversation go?
I asked her if it was my husband's child, and she told me no.
I was in a relationship at that point in time.
Oh, while you were having the threesomes with them, you were in a relationship somebody else.
Yes.
You might want to sit down for this one. The emotional stakes skyrocket as Miss Strong discusses their delayed discovery of Angel's birth and their first encounter with her. Their unwavering commitment to Angel amidst the murky waters of paternity paints a vivid picture of their unconventional yet deep familial bonds. The emotional roller coaster isn't over. There's more to come.
Regardless of race, he's ruled out.
Yes.
When do you realize this could potentially be your baby, Mr. Strong's baby?
I asked her when she was an infant and I seen her on the street and I was introduced to her for the first time.
Were you there at the hospital when the baby was born?
We didn't know the baby was, we heard from a third party that she had her. We weren't even notified. She sent me a message out of the blue, needed my help with something and wanted Angel to have something to do with her dad. I said, what are you talking about?
You couldn't make this up if you tried. Delving into the ongoing complexities of their sexual relationships, Mrs. Strong admits to orchestrating the threesomes to ward off potential infidelity. This candid confession lays bare the personal strategies tangled within their intricate relationship dynamics. The stakes are about to get even higher in the following moments.
And so you have opened up your home and your hearts to this little girl.
Yes, ma'am.
And you as well, Miss Strong.
Absolutely.
And it's because you openly, that you were going into this threesome situation and you all obviously weren't being responsible and using any type of extra birth control.
She said she had an accident, which we knew about the accident, that she couldn't have children from. That's what we looked at.
Fasten your seatbelts for this curveball. Judge Lake digs into the real reasons behind the threesome arrangements, questioning whether it's true enjoyment or a strategic maneuver by Ms. Strong to keep her marriage intact. This probing exposes the deep-seated dynamics and fears influencing their marital decisions. The revelations that follow will turn everything on its head.
This is just a question I want to know that has nothing to do with paternity, but I want to know. Are you engaging in the threesomes because it's something you really enjoy doing it, or is it because you feel like my husband go out there cheating and so I'll just keep it interesting right here in my bed and then I can control the situation?
Exactly.
Prepare for the grand finale. The dramatic climax arrives with the paternity test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Strong, you are not the father.
Mr. Coleman throws the courtroom into a dramatic start by declaring his 7-year marriage is teetering on the edge, all thanks to suspicions of his wife's infidelity and serious doubts about the paternity of their unborn child. He lays it all out there, highlighting not just his marriage and sobriety at risk, but the well-being of their children too. And you thought your family dinners were intense. Stick around for the next part.
Mr. Coleman, you say your 7-year marriage is on the rock because you claim to have proof your wife cheated and is pregnant by another man. You say you will ask for a divorce when the results prove your case. Ms. Coleman, you say you know your husband is your unborn child's father and hope your husband will learn to let your past be your past, start to trust you again. Is that correct?
Just when you think it can't get more intense. Dive into the backstory of Mr. and Ms. Coleman's rocky relationship. They met during their personal storms of addiction. Mr. Coleman recounts a pivotal moment where he spirited Ms. Coleman away to help her clean up before a crucial doctor's appointment, even though she was already pregnant by another man. This twist ties them together, setting the stage for a saga you won't want to miss. Next up, the plot thickens.
She was like 3-4 months pregnant at that time, and she had a doctor appointment coming up. Saying I could see where she was a little bit distraught because she said if she go back and the tests those that she's been using, they're gonna take her baby from her. I kidnapped her for like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't let her do nothing. After that, she went to the doctor, came back. You know what I'm saying? Gave me like the biggest hug. You know what I'm saying? Right there, I just felt the connection.
Hold on to your popcorn. Things are getting real. Here's the turning point in their marriage story. Mr. Coleman shares his journey to seek treatment for addiction, aiming to patch things up and keep their family unit whole. His tale underscores the struggles and emotional turmoil they wade through while battling addiction and trying to parent. But wait, there's more to this roller coaster, so don't switch tabs yet.
I had Seek Treat did that, and at the time I was still in contact kids, and they were still asking about their mama. We need to see mama. Can we see mama? And I'm like, really not a good time, but crying for her. So I took them to the place where we once dwelled in. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of touched her right there at that time. I seen she wanted help, but didn't really know how to ask for it. So I asked when you ever needed help. You know what I'm saying? Just call. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up calling me, and I took her to treatment.
Cue the dramatic music, because here comes a twist. The air thickens with doubt as Mr. Coleman reveals Ms. Coleman is pregnant and has also contracted an STD, rocketing his suspicions of her infidelity into the stratosphere. This chapter in their lives reveals deeper layers of their fraught relationship, relationship, marked by ongoing battles with fidelity and addiction. What happens next? Well, it's a doozy, so keep watching.
I was looking for you saying, hey, don't come to me like that. And that was like, man, a big shocker to me.
And let's be clear, Coleman, we understand that as he talks about these situations, we know directly connected to the addiction issue that you were dealing with.
Yes, Your Honor.
But what you're saying, Mr. Coleman, is, as she would say, I can't go now, that indicated to you, well, you might have gone before or you might go later.
Yeah.
Buckle up, this ride isn't over yet. In this charged courtroom scene, the Colemans face the potential unraveling of their marriage head-on, discussing the looming possibility of divorce contingent on the paternity test results. The stakes are sky high as both parties lay bare their fears and hopes for their relationship's future. The verdict is just moments away. Prepare to be floored.
Yeah,
Let me ask you
we only had sex like one time.
Well, it only takes once, Mr. Coleman, let's be clear. But find out you're pregnant, so you think you calling with good news, family news.
Yeah.
And then you find out he doubts it.
And that was a crazy.
And now the marriage is on the rocks because of this.
It's not mine, it's a divorce.
Grab your tissues, folks. It's the big reveal. The courtroom holds its breath as the DNA results are finally announced.
Mr. Coleman, you are the father.
Buckle up. Here's Mr. Watson dropping a bombshell. He claims he's not the biological father of Ms. Mahoney's 4-year-old son, Kevin. He points fingers at her supposed infidelity during his absence, suggesting a couple of other guys could be Kevin's real dad. This spicy accusation is setting the stage for a drama-packed DNA dispute. Just you wait. It's going to get even juicier.
Mr. Watson, you are in court to prove that you are not the biological father of the defendant's 4-year-old son, Kevin. You say that while you were away, Ms. Mahoney was having sexual relationships with 2 different men, and either of them could be the father.
You're not going to believe this. Ms. Mahoney stands firm 99.999% that Mr. Watson is indeed the father, despite his accusations of her stepping out. Mr. Watson, on the other hand, stakes the future of their relationship on these DNA results, with their pending marriage hanging in the balance. Get ready for the next curveball, folks.
You say you are 99.999% sure that Mr. Watson is the father and deny his accusations of infidelity. You say today's results will determine the future of your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor, it will. I've known her since we were kids. We need to get these results because we are engaged and I would like to marry her, and I really hope this is my son.
Oh, snap! Mr. Watson just called Ms. Mahoney promiscuous right in front of everyone, which shocks the crowd and makes the judge call for a timeout on disrespect. This tension-packed exchange really spotlights the trust issues and the high stakes involved. But hold on, there's more drama brewing around the corner.
She has a bad reputation of being basically, as I'm gonna say it, the neighborhood hoe.
Okay, we're going to try to use respectful language, but let's say she had a reputation of being very promiscuous.
Yes, sure.
Okay, and so you were away and you came home. What did you find when you came home?
She had 2 men staying with her, and they were showering her with gifts and taking care of her. Now, me as a man personally, I'm not gonna do that for no woman.
Being a man, though, you should have left me.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled, the court stirs the pot by bringing up another man who's been acting like Kevin's dad while Mr. Watson was away. This guy even claims Kevin as his own, which really throws a wrench into the whole paternity question. Stick around, because this soap opera isn't over yet.
There's a difference between a father and a dad. Just know that.
What you mean? He the one talking about that's his kid.
He provided for him.
Okay, I was away. I couldn't.
When I called you and he was hungry, then what?
I was away. There was nothing I could do.
Like I said, there's a difference between father and
if he was my kid, so bring other men around my kid?
Did he say he was the biological father, or did this man say he was a father?
No, he said
pretty much, Your Honor.
Here's where it gets sketchy. Mr. Watson questions the authenticity of the DNA results, hinting that Ms. Mahoney might have forged them. This bombshell adds a layer of mystery and distrust to the proceedings. The plot thickens, and the truth is about to come out, so don't go anywhere.
The state put him on that birth certificate.
Did you bring that test result with you?
No, I didn't.
Mr. Watson, why don't you believe those results?
I even posted it on Facebook.
Because first of all, Your Honor, she walked up showing me these papers. First of all, I didn't see no government stamp on it. And when she showed me it, quote me on this if I'm wrong, when I read it, it read like 99
of the black population.
That was
my response.
And here it is, the moment of truth. The DNA results are in. And guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Watson, you are the father.
See? I love you.
I'm sorry, baby. I love you. I love you so much.